What is going on, Herd? How are you doing this Monday night? And thank you for joining us for another episode of Cover Lovers, where we get to talk about the incentives that are coming out this week on October the 26th, as well as kind of talk about some of these store exclusives that were just released. And as you can see, tonight we're a little light. Mike, Mr. Morello Tunes, cannot join us tonight as he's having parent-teacher conferences. And then also Big Rob has a previous engagement, meaning he's celebrating his anniversary. So he's not going to be in. But thankfully, Jeff is here with me. Otherwise, you guys would just be listening to my voice the entire evening. So Jeff, thank you for coming by, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man, just in the nick of time, just as the title was rolling, but yeah, gotta beat that traffic. Gotta love that Cali traffic. This is Jeff at Geek Driven. We're here for another episode of Cover Lovers. I'm missing the other two guys, but that just means this is going to be a little bit shorter in time, and we'll finally get to hear Alonzo's takes on these covers. So yeah, there's a benefit here for all of us, but I can't wait.
Oh man, Jeff, I like it. And as you guys know, this is Alonzo, aka Comics and Pops. I am your comic book nerd and pop culture fanatic. So with that being said, let us give a quick shout out to our Team Nerd Herd moderators. What is going on? Uncle Rudy, Something Wong, Deanime, and Glenn2K12. Thank you guys for making the community what it is with the chat. I mean, seriously, you guys are amazing. Thank you guys so much. And also a quick shout out to our DJ, Eddie, at Beats by Monster. Thank you again for setting everything up for us. Definitely appreciate it. Let's give a quick shout out to the chat. We know that Deanime here, rock and roll, dude. Thank you for stopping by. GT Key Comic, what is going on? And then Wong, we got half of the Four Horsemen. Thank you guys. And then also Trish, thank you for stopping by. It was so much fun having you on the show last week. It was a blast. And now since we had such a great show, now the two guys just decided to just up and leave. So what is going on? Oh my goodness. And then here we go.
You wore him out, Trish. You wore him out.
I know. That's what I think would happen. Oh, Ricardo, what is going on, dude? Can't wait to see you on Nearman Sunday. So, all right, Jeff, you ready?
Yes.
All right,
sure.
let's get her done. Let's get her done. Here we go. All right. So for the incentives, again, for this October the 26th, we have Punchline, the Gotham game. We have a 1 in 25 by Raphael Albuquerque, a 1 in 50 by Gilliam Mark, and then we have a 1 in 100 by Mateus Manhanini. Hopefully I said that right. All right. So Punchline is one of my favorite characters, so I'm super excited for this little mini or one shot that they're doing of her, and I cannot wait. To be perfectly honest, the one that I love is the 1 in 50 by Gilliam March. I love the fact that she's kind of overlooking Gotham. You have the Gotham City blimp behind her. I love the angles. I love that she's on the gargoyle because we see Batman on the gargoyle all the time. So it's different to see a villain do it. I totally dig it. The one thing that I would say is that the gargoyle itself is a little weak. It doesn't seem like an actual gargoyle or the type of gargoyle that you would see Batman stand on. So it's a little weak on that in that regards. But other than that, I mean, I love how you can see how tight the skirt is or how taut the skirt is with Punchline and the way she's kind of just looking over like she's just such a badass. And the one I didn't like is the 1 in 100, Mateus Manhanini. Oh my God, I'm gonna be terrible with that one. But this one to me looks like it is too digital. I'm not a big fan of it. You can kind of tell it's not really Punchline. You don't have that kind of like psychotic look to her or that intelligent look. It's she's more like a model is standing on top of a police car. And even then, if you look at her face, there's not very many details on that face. I mean, it looks very plain to me. So these are my picks. Again, the 1 in 50, I totally dig. I love it. And I would have to frown on the 1 in 100. What about you, Jeff?
Okay. I'm gonna be straight up right now. This sucks.
Do
I have
it.
to start this way.
Do
I
it.
don't
Do
like
it.
I don't like any of them.
Oh, man.
I don't believe any of these are incentive worthy. I even think the Gillen March, even if it's the best out of all of them, for you, I still think it's a cardstock B cover. I don't think it's incentive worthy per se. At first I was thinking the Mateus wasn't too bad, but every time I looked at it more and more, I was like, oh my god, is she Beetlejuice? Does she have a shrunken head? It looks so weird, and then I think it's still a little cray cray. You know, it's in the middle of a big explosion. She's looking at her makeup on top of a cop car. You know, so I mean that's still a little cray cray. As the Albuquerque is not bad, but it's also not. It's just not worthy of an incentive. Actually, I don't even like the eyes. I feel like the eyes they're too white. It's missing the pupils and the
Ooh, I can see that.
eyeballs.
Yep.
So yeah, I don't like any of them, honestly. God, that's 3 of them too. And I know she's supposed to be a very, popular character or new popular character, but I don't know. I don't know how this is gonna do.
Oh, come on, Jeff. All right, Jeff. I know
I
you're
bet you store
unhappy with.
exclusives got to be better.
Oh, there weren't that many, but we didn't have a chance to kind of cover them. I didn't even see any store exclusives.
Oh, maybe
on
there
my
isn't.
inbox.
Maybe there isn't.
Maybe. I mean, you'd think there would be, right?
I would think so. I mean, considering it's her own book, but whatever.
Okay.
I know it's just a one shot.
And look at that. Sam agrees with you, Jeff.
Thank you, Sam.
Eh.
Great minds think alike.
Oh my goodness, you guys. All right. Well, hopefully the next one will impress you. Here we go. All right. We have Detective Comics number 1065. We have a 1 in 25 by Martin Simmons and a 1 in 50 by Jim Lee. All right. Jeff, I can tell you're looking pretty hard at these. Do you want a little bit more time?
No. I've seen these before. So the Simmons caught my eyes just because I'm very much into his style. It's got that, you would think it would be for like the style that his art is like for horror, and it this is not exactly my favorite of his though, but it's not bad. It's just because I like the style. It's not necessarily like the best. I do kind of like Freeze though, the way he portrayed him in his helmet. This Batman looks like it's like a Adam West Batman almost.
I can see that.
So I feel like he went for that older feel, but he's got that new Freeze. So and I like the concept. It's just not like the background and everything feels a little weird. They're off center, so it feels a little weird. Now the Jim Lee, I wish I saw. Is there a color version? Is that the A cover or something?
It is. There's a color version. It is an A cover.
Okay.
It's either the A or the B, but you're definitely gonna see it.
Okay, because then I need to see this in color because that is a lot of pencil work. I mean, a ton, and I love his pencil work. I would have to see it up close to appreciate it more. I bet I would like it if I saw it up close, but since there's so much pencil work and there's so much detail that I can't distinguish a lot of it right now just from looking at it.
Okay.
So I think that's something I would have to see up close. I literally have a bunch of his sketch covers. So like they're 1 in 200s or something like that. I don't know.
Right. The old
Yeah.
JL. Yep.
Yes, the old
Justice League.
Justice League, right?
Yep.
So I love all of those, and I even one of them was kind of busy, the sketch work, but I still can appreciate it. So I can see Two-Face and I can see Batman. Everything in between, and I can see the people on the bottom, but everything in between, it's kind of just a blur right now. But if I was to choose,
Yep.
darn,
Come on, do it.
I'd have to pick the Jim Lee just because it's Jim Lee.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a couple of issues with the Simmons that I can't, appreciate for a 1 in 25.
I totally agree with you on so many levels regarding both of these covers. I, for one, do love the Jim Lee. Like that's the one I totally gravitate towards. So that's the one that I'm definitely picking. And again, we're both Jim Lee fans, so you know what? It's the obvious choice. The Martin Simmons one. So to your point, it does look like it's the Adam West. I mean, he looks very hefty, which is okay, right?
Yeah,
The
and it's
thing,
that cape, and it's the gloves, the gauntlets with yeah, it's kind
right?
of flimsy.
You know, one of the things that bothers me too is and you brought it up. It's like it's off center, which is kind of weird. But maybe it's the style that we're going with. But it is off center, so it is a weird. And then the same thing too, Mister Freeze. It looks like the paint just kind of dripped down, so
Yeah,
there's no
bleeds.
legs, right?
Yep, like he
It,
didn't finish it.
exactly. So that's why I'm like, you know what? I'm not too keen on that one. But again, with the Jim Lee one, I can see how busy it is because it's just the pencils. But oh my god, it's so telling. There's so much action involved in it. I loved how the chandelier is falling down and Batman's fighting Two Face. I mean, I can see all the line work, the details going into this. But you're right, definitely. If you'd want to see the color version and this one kind of like side by side to notice a lot of these nuances that Jim Lee has done. But I mean, it's great. I love it. The only thing that I don't is the arch. I think it takes away from the art itself because it's just kind of like this border that really didn't need to be there.
And I'm sure he drew the whole thing out and then put in that border, and then he erased everything behind it.
You know what? It's totally possible. It's totally possible. But yeah, for sure. Like I was all over it. I'm like, oh, I gotta get it, gotta get it. It's gorgeous. But yeah.
I mean, you can tell how much care he put into it. Look at all the details and all the line work. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot.
No. All right. What about this next one here? This one this was brought to our attention by Mr. Big Rob here, who's not on the show. So we have this one, which is a homage to Wonder Woman by Diego Bernard for Lady Death, a 1 in 25. And then we have another Lady Death by Diego Bernard, and it's also 1 in 25. But both books are different Lady Death books. Just want to kind of put that out there. One is, I think, a Lady Death, the winter issue, and the other one is Lady Death, Sacrificial Annihilation #1. And it is not graded. Obviously, you can tell it's an 11, right? But it is a comic book that looks like it's graded. So these are both homages. Captain America, Wonder Woman. Jeff, do you have any thoughts?
Okay, so I'm assuming it's the homages to their first solo book, right?
It
And
certainly looks like it.
okay. Um these always will catch my eye just because it's an homage of very famous covers. But it's not a Marvel or a DC character. So I kind of appreciate that. It's cool. I like that. Um I don't know if it's necessarily for me. And I have the one on the right. Yeah, if I had the one on
That's
the
right.
left, I would be screaming for joy.
Meh.
Um, I think it's kind of funny and a cool concept because I don't think anyone's ever done it. Put a graded, like homaging a graded comic book. So that's kind of neat. I would think people would be interested in it just for the what do you call it? Just for, you know, the sake of having the first one, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you're ever gonna find these though. They're 1 in 25s for Lady Death books, and there's multiple ones in the same month. I mean, the same week. Oh boy, I don't know how many LCSs ordered 25, 50 Lady Death books in 1 week. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think.
So
Yeah.
these are ghosts. These are going to be ghosts, actually. So I have a feeling that these might just spec wise, and nostalgia. I think these would get more popular as time goes by.
Okay. But if you had to pick, Jeff, which one would you take? The
Oh,
one on the left or the one on the right?
darn.
Would it be Wonder Death or Captain Death?
I like I'm actually going to go with the right, even though I like the left. I'm going on with the right just because I have that stupid book. And I just like the idea, the concept, the first time. I'm sure a bunch of people are going to copy this.
No, it's great. It's great. Look at that. Chucks was like, "Hey, left, Jeff. Come
I
on."
know. I honestly, I say the left one is better, but I would choose the one on the right.
And
Is
even
that
Sarah is
weird?
the same way.
That's
Come on,
weird. Yeah,
come
I
on, Wonder
know. I
Death.
get it. I get it. The art is better on the left too, honestly.
Yeah, I mean that would be my choice. I definitely like Wonder Death a lot better. I love the whole concept. I like how they homage because we don't see a lot of these homages. And the last homage that I like was in Adam Hughes, that he did something very similar. So for me, this is something that it's like, oh my god, I think about Adam Hughes, and I love it. I love the Nazi demons on here, versus the other one, you have different versions of Lady Death behind Captain Death, right? Or Captain America. So these other versions, I'm like, I'm not too keen on them. I mean, they don't look that great. I mean, you have the Hulk. Yeah, it looks like you have Tigra. You have Deathlock.
So
Uh,
they're all different versions of Lady Death in the background.
yeah, right.
I mean, like I said,
But come
the
on,
art is better
demon
on the left.
Nazis. Come on. And I love that detail that they put in the horse. They put in like every aspect of this, like the Gatling gun, the demons' faces. I mean, it's a trip. I love it. So that would be my choice.
No, I agree. The one on the left is better.
Oh yeah, but you know what? I hear you, man. Because I mean, you're so proud of that book. Wasn't it like your first book that you got graded by CGC?
No, it's my biggest biggest comic book purchase.
Okay.
Yeah, so
It's an awesome book, man. All right, and this is another one that Big Rob decided to kind of dump on us here, and I do say dump. And this one here is Cradle of Filth by Carlos Valenzuela, which is a 1 in 5, versus Halloween #1 by Axel Medellin, also a 1 in 5. So, Jeff, since you've kind of gone first the past couple times, I will take this. And all right, if I had to choose, because both of these are terrible for me, in my opinion. Again, I'm with Mike, where Mike says like I don't like that floating head. It does remind me that Cradle of Filth. It does remind me of The Crow, and maybe this is what it's trying to homage, but it doesn't look like The Crow. It looks like an '80s rocker to me. So I'm like, it doesn't do anything. And the hair, I mean, my God, it looks like just one stroke of a paintbrush. I'm done. It doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of effort put into it. On the Halloween side, again, the floating head, I think it might be homaging maybe Reanimator or something to that effect, or maybe Halloween. I mean, I don't know, but I do like the mad scientist there and the Vampirilla-like character that's on the table. Maybe it's kind of like the Bride of Frankenstein. So that's the one that I would go to if I had to choose. But again, both of these covers are, it's like, I can't really get behind them. Even if they were free, I wouldn't take them, to be honest with you. But again, if I had to choose, obviously I'll choose a Halloween. All right, Jeff, lay it on me.
Okay. First of all, I'm never buying these comic books.
Nah.
These are not my type of books. So that's just my personal choice. However, and I'm gonna say this, it really doesn't matter which one because they're both probably gonna cost cover price still, even if it's a 1 in 5. What's going on, Bird City? But if I had to choose, I am choosing one on the right because the one on the left freaks me out. I don't know if that's actually an homage to Crow. It's probably an old horror movie poster, and I can't think of it right now. I because that text, that font gives me a different vibe. So, but the one on the right, I mean, it's fun for, I guess, Halloween, pumpkin. And the stuff on the bottom is kind of like an homage to like old school horror movies. So yeah, I mean, I'm cool with that. It kind of reminds me of what's that movie, Little Shop of Horrors? So that's kind of gives me that vibe too. So I've always liked that movie. But yeah, I picked the one on the right.
Okay. Thank you, Laura. I appreciate that. Okay, Ozzy Osbourne, yeah, definitely. See,
Yes.
like 80s rocker. It's that kind of vibe.
Look, I love Ozzy. I can't stand him in his makeup, bro. And all that blood coming out of him. I'm good.
All right. Let us quickly move on then to a Megan Wang cover, and it's a 1 in 25 for Deathstroke Inc. number 14. So, Jeff, you ready?
Yeah.
All right. Let's hear it.
Okay. This is like a cheap shot because a lot of people like those trick or treat covers, and this is kind of cool because it's Deathstroke and his 2 kids.
Yep.
So I that's really kind of cool. But as far as the art goes, there's not much to it. There's not a lot of detail involved in this art. Literally, Deathstroke's face is pretty plain. His mask is pretty plain. The kid's face, it's very anime, and obviously, I'm pretty sure this is like her style.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just very minimal, and I don't know if it's what I would like. I would pass, but I know people would want this just for the trick or treating and the symbolism here. It's the dad taking out his kids.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So with this one, I think it's okay. There's so many things that I think that are wrong with it. One of them, it's like, God, I forgot what is that kid's name. The guy, he was a Teen Titan. He can go into somebody else's body and have that ability, kind of like Dead Man almost.
Damn it, I forgot.
It starts with a J, right, or something like that. Oh my God,
I can't come to my. I know her name. I can't remember his. I know Rose.
Yeah, it's Rose. Yep. But it's like the eyes just don't look right to me, for that character. And Rose looks like she's kind of hunched over, kind of like this. And then with Deathstroke himself, I mean, he's like
his head's kind of small,
and yeah, with a small head. So and he's got his shoulders. I don't know where his shoulders start and his like torso kind of begins, or his arms. I mean that those lats. I mean, my God, man, this guy's been working out, but I mean it just looks terrible. Okay, you know what? I don't like it. I'll just say it. I don't like it. Where's the vomit icon? What happened here? Oh my God! No. Just
I
looking.
mean, it's not vomit, but it's not the best. And like
Nah.
I said, it should have been a B cover. Again, I don't understand what DC who's picking the incentives. I don't.
Yeah, and Laura agrees. She's like, I'd buy the cover, but not at ratio.
Exactly, which is why I think it's a B cover or a C
Mhm.
cover.
Okay. All right. So look at that, Vinny.
Close to
He's like,
vomit. Right, right. It says not vomit yet, but it's close. Close.
oh my God. Yes. Those. Oh my God. You're so right. The
Right?
McDonald's Halloween buckets. oh. All right. Let's move on to the next one. Here we go. We have Action Comics 1048 by Rafael Sarmento, and it's a 1 in 25. So I think this one's okay. Not mad at it. I love the details around Superman. I love the key. I love the Fortress of Solitude. I love how you have the, I don't know, icicles, I guess. And I like the reflection of light that the artist used, that Raphael used. I think it's great. The only thing that I'm not a big fan of has to do with how Superman looks like he's a little chunky monkey. I mean, this is Superman, right? I mean, this guy supposed to be the embodiment of fitness, pretty much, right? And looking at his side view, I mean,
He's got Captain America chest.
he does. He totally does. I'm like, what the heck? And then also too, it's just right from the back. I mean, it's just straight down. It's like you use a straight line and just did one of those. The thighs don't seem really proportioned. I mean, the same thing, big thighs, small little knee, and then all of a sudden the calf starts to come out. I, but I like the cover. I just don't like Superman in it. Is that weird for a Superman book?
Yeah. Okay. I if you took Superman out of this, would be a pretty
Super sad
decent
bod,
book.
yes.
I don't like the cape at all. I don't like his face.
Oh my God, you are so right.
Uh, I don't like the fact that it fits perfectly in between the light. Like, I get it, it's symmetry, but that's just nitpicky. But the rest of it, honestly, I really like the rest of it. I don't know if I like the cape just because it feels so different, like the color wise, from the rest of the art. And I think that goes the same with just Superman himself. I feel like that was just put in separately. But yeah, I like the concept. I like the fact that, oh yeah, well, this big ass key, I wonder if anybody else can use it, right? But yeah, I mean, it's close. It's close, but it's not close enough. That Superman has got to be redone or retouched.
Yep. Hey, I have a question for you. I know you're a Superman fan. You may have seen this key in the Fortress of Solitude, but this is the first time I'm seeing it. And you know how it looks like there's the cityscape in the middle of the key.
That's really cool, but I don't think that's legitimately what the key is. Like, there's so many different versions of the key.
Uh-huh.
In the cartoons, there's a version of the key where it's just a regular size key, except it's made out of a black dwarf star.
Right.
Out
That
of a
makes it
dwarf
like
star. Yeah.
so
So
hard to pick up,
obviously
right?
it's like the heaviest element and probably weighs like 500,000 tons or something. So yeah, I mean, there's different keys for the fortress, and yeah, I really, the reason I think I don't like Superman coloring right now is because the lighting in the background and from the front, like you can see there's lighting that comes across the key, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then there's lighting coming from behind.
Ah.
Okay, the lighting doesn't fit him, only in certain parts. So you just see it on his right arm shoulder a little
Mm-hmm.
bit on the cape, but the cape also has lighting from a different angle, which that didn't make any sense to me. And then the knee, that's why the knee looks smaller, because there's lighting coming from behind.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, it's there's lighting there, but there's no lighting behind his boot. On you know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't match. So yeah, that's why it probably throws me off.
Okay, I'm
Again, I
glad we're
like the
both in
concept.
agreement here.
Yeah.
Superman can go.
Yes, he can go.
All right, how about this one? DC
Ooh.
versus Vampires number 10 by John Jang, 1 in 25.
Ooh. Okay. I actually kind of like it.
Right?
I'm not a horror fan, but I can appreciate like the details and like what he was going for. If looks kind of damn cool. However, it doesn't look like a DC book either.
Which is probably good, right?
Yeah, I guess so. I would never know this was a DC book. I would never know who that character was. So that's probably why I'd be like, what? It kind of doesn't fit. That's hot. Yeah, I mean, Jiang's a great artist. To me, or I like his art. It's just, yeah, I kind of dig it. Yeah, I think the only thing I have with it is I wish there was a background, but I guess it's not necessary because there's so much good detail in the character. So yeah, pretty
Yeah,
cool.
I dig it. I like this version of Nightwing. And if you guys don't
Oh,
know,
that's Nightwing.
yeah, DC vs. Vampires, Nightwing is the Lord of the Vampires. And he's a badass. I mean, it's great how he tricked the entire Bat family. I mean, it's great. I love how like evil and menacing he looks in this piece of art. It's fantastic. I mean, but I agree with Trish. I think Trish had mentioned in the chat that a lot of John's work looks like you have to wear like 3D glasses for it because it's like layers upon layers upon layers of stuff. And oh my goodness, this one I think he kind of reined himself in just a little bit, and it's phenomenal. I love the bats. I love how he did everything. The only thing I'm a little like, concerned about or have questions about actually is what is Nightwing holding? Is it a pumpkin bomb? Pumpkin? Is it
That
doesn't look
looks
like
like a
a heart?
heart to me.
Does it? It kind of it doesn't look like a heart.
It looks like a heart to me, but maybe not.
It looks like a globe or maybe a skull, maybe.
Maybe. Yeah, that's kind of weird.
But everybody seems to be enjoying the cover. Everybody in the chat seems to enjoy it. Um, yes,
This
is
is
Horror Joker.
incentive worthy.
Oh yeah, it is totally.
And Jiang's
Yeah, pumpkin bomb. Yeah,
he usually does a lot of store exclusives.
he does. That is true. So I'm glad he's doing this. I'm glad he's got a job at DC, and he's doing this kind of work. It's great. All right, moving on to Mike's favorite, Peach Momoko for Strange Academy Finals number 1, a 1 in 50. Jeff, would you like to go first, or shall I?
You go for it. Go for it.
All right. I love it. I love this cover. I dig it. I like how she put a lot more effort, it would seem, in this particular piece of art than she's kind of done in the past. This also, to me, rivals the one that she did for Strange Academy number 1, which was a store exclusive for Frankie's and Golden Apple. I dig it. I love the horror aspect. I love the eyeballs in the back and how it's kind of like almost like a rainbow-ish type or half circle. I think it's great. I love the eyes that Magic is giving. I mean, they're very fierce. I dig it. I can't say enough about it. I'm definitely going to get this book. It rocks. All right, Jeff.
Okay. I'm going to praise it, but I'm also going to knock it a little.
Go for it. Let's go.
So I'm gonna start with the knocking. Okay, so I feel like she used half of a background she's used before and another half of a background she used before and melded it together. because I feel like I've seen those skulls and eyeballs before, or like those bones that
Mhm.
kind of like from her in another book, and like not too long ago. So that's the only thing I would knock about it. Everything else I actually love about it. I did ask my LCS to pull this for me.
Nice.
I hope he did, or they did. We'll see how much it's gonna cost. This is, yeah, I mean that's better than lemongrass though. Be honest, like I like her horror stuff. So like I mean the way she draws horror, it's definitely a different way. It's very anime. Her eyes are very anime. I love that about it. The armor, you know, it's okay. Uh, but I love the rest of it. So I mean, if only part of it is just me, and the rest of it's cool, I can dig this one. And I mean, obviously, it's for spec reasons.
Oh, but I mean, look at those eyes though. They're so intense.
Yeah,
I love it. But I
it's a combination spec, right? There's Momoko. It's a 1 in 50, and it's Strange Academy,
yep.
number one of
Yep.
something.
You know what though, and I get the anime feel because of the headrest that she has. It's very anime-ish.
Yep, the whole thing looks very anime.
Oh man, but I dig it. I dig it.
Yes.
I want more of this Peach. This is fantastic. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, this one's very good. At least compared to a lot of her more recent stuff.
Yep. All right. Moving on to one of Mike's favorites. We have Moon Knight, and I believe this might be an annual number one, and it's a 1 in 25 by Bill Sienkiewicz. Jeff,
Hmm.
lay it on us, man. What do you think?
Okay, so I'm a Sienkiewicz fan, but I don't know if I asked my LCS if I wanted this one. I don't think I did, and I wouldn't think they get 25 of the annual anyways. This might be kind of hard to find, to be quite honest.
Mhm.
Even as popular as Moon Knight might have been, it's kind of faltered recently, and um, this is not bad. I kind of dig it. I could see where people wouldn't dig it. It looks like a ghostly Moon Knight, which is kind of cool. Almost reminds me of like uh Ghosts of Christmas Past or something like that. Like it's kind of gives me that vibe.
Uh-huh.
So it's kind of cool. I like it. It feels what is he's got to be in London. So yeah, it's giving me that vibe. But it's not bad. It's just I don't think it's my favorite of his. That's a
Okay.
very thin Moon Knight.
Yeah. So is it ratio worthy? Is this incentive worthy for you?
You know what? I'm gonna still say yes, just because it's Sienkiewicz, and on top of that, it is one of the better ones that he's done recently too.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I I really dig that. It kind of gives me Orko vibes, like a white Orko.
Yes. Totally.
But so I'm cool with it. Yeah. I don't know if I would have asked for it again, and like I said, it'd probably be very hard to find.
Hmm. Yeah, I would agree. It's very ethereal. The Moon Knight looks like a ghost. I mean, to your point, I mean, it is like a white Orko, right? Um, it feels like he's kind of drifting,
Yes,
versus when you think Moon Knight, I think like he's always moving,
it
and
feels
I don't
like he's drifting like a Dementor.
exactly. I don't, yeah. So I don't get that kind of vibe with the art and the character. So
Right.
it seems like there's some sort of disconnect for me.
Unless
Uh,
there's something in the story that we don't know about.
that is true. That is true. That is totally true. So I'm like, plus it's like, again with this straight line, like at the back of Moonlight or Moon Knight's shoulder. I mean, it's just very straight, and everything else is kind of flowing. So for me, it's just very off. And again, it looks like and we've seen jellyfish in the aquarium. I mean, it's just kind of kind of doing one of these things, kind of just passing you by. Uh, I do get that vibe. I'm okay with it as a 1 in 25. To honestly, I don't see it. for me, it would be an A, B, or C cover. It's just so. I mean, there's nothing that grabs my attention.
I take it back. You're right. It doesn't. It's not incentive worthy. It could have been a nice A cover.
For sure, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's. I mean, don't get me wrong. The background. I even like the way he drew the cityscape and everything. And it's not perfect, but I just like that style, and it fits like London.
Oh, for sure. For sure. I mean, even K-pop had said the same thing, Katie.
I mean, look how crooked the damn light pole on the right is.
Yep.
Or it's not even a light pole. What is it? Those chimney stacks, right? The
Yep.
little vents.
Yep.
So yeah.
Rudy and Chucks are like, yep, cover price, not for ratio. All right. And I believe that ends our take on the incentives that are coming out this week. And again, we didn't cover all the incentives. I mean, but it was a light week as well. Oh man, Wong, really?
I missed a call by Ant.
Come on. All right, now let's head on over to our store exclusives. Here we go. All right. Here we are. Miles Morales Spider-Man. I believe this is Spider-Man #1 by John Jang that you can find at Big Time Collectibles. And it is a set. And it's for $40. So you get the trade and the Virgin. Since it's a Marvel book, I would like to assume that it's a 3000, 1000 LE. But again, they didn't mention it in the email as well as on their site. But here we go. And I will go first. For me, I really like this cover. I know it feels kind of busy, but it's awesome. I'm glad that Miles Morales is going back to his original costume or his older costume and got rid of like that kind of Red Hood-ish Ben Reilly kind of style costume. But this one right here really suits him. It's great. I also like how he's kind of like moving. It's very action oriented. I like he's doing a flip or doing something in the air, and he's going to use his spider powers to attack the enemy. I mean, love it. And again, I like the details of his shoes. I like the sneakers that they have. I mean, it's overall, I think it's a great cover. Is it worth $40 for me? To be honest with you, I've seen these Morales books go for a lot more. So for $40, I'm there. I'm in it. Why not take a chance? What about you, Jeff?
I'm gonna destroy this book.
Oh, do it.
I do not like this ass cover. Exactly. That's all I see is crotch and ass and under his thighs and
crotch and ass. Come on.
I swear that's all I'm seeing right now. And this is a weird position. I get it. Obviously, at some point in his acrobats, he's gonna probably be in this position.
Right?
The only cool thing that I like about this cover,
chest food. You see that?
Okay, there's two parts. Okay, and even one of it is still a little messy.
Okay,
so I like the sole of the shoes. I like kicks, and I like how you get the details of the soles. You know, those are very important of seeing the details of the sneakers, right?
Yeah.
And you don't get to see that too often. There are, so I can appreciate that. However, I did not need to see his ass up in the air, and him looking at his crotch. That's just really weird. I
can see that now. I can see that.
This is gonna go very weird if real soon. But I like the venom, him like showing the use of his venom attack. All right, is that what it is, right?
Venom blast, I think.
Yeah, it's venom blast, right? So I like the showing of that, but I feel like he's gonna venom blast his own nuts. So I'm like, this is really weird. Yeah, I'm okay, and I would pass. And this is not my favorite of Jiang's at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just the position that he chose, I guess. he was the other way around, maybe I could see it. But yeah.
All right.
Yes, it's the show me your package variant. This he goes, he's trying to run for America's ass.
That's true. That's true. Oh, here we go. See, but if it was Spider-Gwen doing that,
I would still feel it's awkward though. It's just the position. It feels especially if it was a woman too, it would feel even nastier. It feel weird. Like, why did you have to draw her in that position? And I'm asking the same question. Why did you have to draw him in that position? So there's for both male and female, it's a little awkward.
Okay. And you know what? I believe everybody in the chat as well agrees with you with that.
It's a lot. I mean, look, he's pretty muscular. There's a lot of glute muscles in that.
No, for sure. For sure. All right. How about this one here by Tony Daniel? You can find an Anti-Hero Gallery. You can get the trade and the Virgin for $30. And again, this is for the Amazing Spider-Man variant. I'm okay with it. I mean, I've seen Tony Daniel's other work. I think Black Cat is a little bit too top heavy. She doesn't have a waist. She's very skinny. She seems like she's a waif. I'm not a big fan of it. I like the city. The city looks nice. I don't like how Spider-Man kind of is hunched over. It looks kind of awkward. So it definitely, even for $30, this would be a pass for me.
So I dig the idea of the notebook book style, right? For the cover, like it looks like it's a book, right? With the little binding, the black binding on the left.
Oh, I can see that.
For me, that's what it looks like. Obviously, it's probably a building, but that's what it kind of looks like. But I have the exact same issues you probably have. Is that Spider-Man looks like he's really top heavy?
Yeah.
Going for a run for that Rob Liefeld cap bust chest. It's those ribs and back. Wow. Don't get me wrong, he could be that big, but the rest of him is too small then. Right. So it's just not proportionate. And it looks like Catwoman has been starving herself and she just has a bone for an arm. Right. So yeah, it looked really awkward. I just thought it was bones. So yeah, that's weird. I'm okay. The proportions are a little off too on her as well, from top to bottom. But yeah, I would pass on this. All right. Yeah, I know. It's probably a building, but it looks like a book binding too. It's like a happy accident, honestly.
Yeah, I'm totally. I'm glad we're on the same page. I mean, the chat, myself. I mean, I think everybody's saying the same thing. So that's great. All right, moving on to this one here. Justice Society #1 by Rose Besh. It's limited edition of $640. You can find it at 616, Frankie's, and Golden Apple. All right, I see your face, Jeff. All right, come on.
Okay, so
let's hear it.
Only because of the way our setup in the background is, I saw the face. I'm like, cool. Then I'm like, who's this character? And I look down and go, oh my God, I know who the character is.
Oh, of course.
And then I look down a little further and I see Wonder Woman's ass. So I'm just like, I was just like, what is going on? Okay. So now that I realize that's Power Girl, can't mistake the outfit. It does look weird for the, okay, so now I'm starting to see why some people are kind of knocking Rose Besh. Her faces are exactly the same. I don't like that. Like, and she does it for all types of characters, even if they're, even if they're not white. Like they all kind of look the same. And it feels like her head is too small and her like whole chest is like really long. And then it gets down to the big boobs. And I'm just like, it looks awkward. It's not proportion. Yeah, and it doesn't help because like she doesn't like making her lines are never perfect. They're not exactly, rounded. They're not exactly straight. They're just kind of it's her style. So it kind of throws it off even more because then she looks all frumpy. So yeah, I would pass on this. Damn it, I love Rose Besh, but this one just feels disjointed from the head to the rest of the body.
Yep. So I love Rose Besh. I love Power Girl. What could go wrong? And everything is wrong with this cover. I wanted to love it so much.
And she did not need to be hiding behind the leaves.
She shouldn't. She shouldn't. No. I mean, I agree with you. I agree with the chat. Her head is too small for her body. It's not proportionate. And her body itself, I mean, it's very weird. It's
what her body feels like?
Stocky.
Umbrella Academy.
Oh my God, the guy that wearing the monkey suit, right?
Yes.
Yes.
That's what his body. That's what her body feels like.
Yes.
It's just this and the small little head.
Yep. I mean, if you know what, if Rose Besh would have done this to her like a cutesy way, I think it would have worked.
I think she could have yeah, the body. I think she wanted to over exaggerate, but she kind of did it too. She went over the top.
Yes. Yeah. I oh my God. Yeah. It's terrible. I don't look like she's hiding in a forest or like some sort of plants. It just.
I'll tell you what I do like.
Go ahead.
I like the lighting and the shadows on her.
Yeah, but Power Girl's like a character that's always in your face, right? And it's not just because of her boob window, but because she's a very powerful character.
But because of her boob window.
Well, and I feel like she's hiding here. I'd rather have seen her like in the sky or doing even striking a pose. I mean,
I'm just waiting for her to go yatta.
I can totally see it. And you know what? Even with a 600 LE, I totally passed on this. Why, Rose?
That is a low LE too. Damn.
So much better. Oh, I wanted to love this cover, but yeah, I had to pass. All right. Yeah. What about this one by Mike Mayhew for The Amazing Spider-Man? You can find this at Mutant Beaver Comics, KRS, Eastside Comics, a Comic Mint, with an LE of 3,000 for the trade, 1,000 for the Virgin, and the set will set you back $50. So I can start. So this is a new character called Hallows Eve, and I'm getting Bewitched vibes, but is she riding a stick or a broom? I don't know. And I feel also too the proportions of the body, especially from her waist up to her neck, don't really seem to match. And her head, again, looks big, in relation to her body. And the way she's looking, the angle, it looks like it doesn't look right. It totally doesn't look right. And her fingers, I mean, this whole thing's just, it's a mess to me. It could have been so great. I was getting Bewitched vibes. And this is just, it's terrible. It is terrible. Mike, I know you can do better. Like, this is not one of them. Ugh, what do you think, Jeff?
Is this drawn?
I have no idea.
It's digital, right?
It could be.
Okay, so
3. Oh my God, 3 ass cheeks. I didn't even notice.
I think it's a pouch. She has it going across her
Oh my goodness.
It's a bag, guys.
Oh my God. Three
It's
ass
not a
cheeks. I
third
love
ass
it.
cheek. That's funny, but yeah, that's a good one.
Oh my God.
Okay, so yeah, when I first saw it, I go, oh, okay, Bewitched, Sabrina,
Hmm.
probably Homage. So I mean, it's okay. Um, but it's not. There's a lot of issues with it too. I mean, a lot. Uh, I feel like one leg is shorter than the other.
Oh, I can totally see that.
Um, I I get what you're saying. I see the big head, and it probably doesn't help that that whole outfit in her is like that cap is huge, frumpy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the pose is a little awkward, but I think that's just to homage whatever it was supposed to homage. It feels like everything's in a specific position on purpose. So, but yeah, it's just doesn't look like it was done, completely well. So yeah, I would definitely pass.
Okay. All right. Would you pass on this one? It's a Bird City Comics exclusive by Felipe Masafera. You can find it also, again,
I'm
Bird
so
City.
glad I said ooh before you said Burst City Comics.
It's a LE 3000 for the trade, 1000 for the Virgin, and a set will set you back $40.
Okay,
All right,
so
Jeff, what do you think?
this is digital, right?
It looks like it, totally.
Okay. I dig this one. Um Now it's a little different, and it is busy, but I can determine the differences between each character. I like that I can see the details in both and all the characters.
Hmm.
I like I even like the fact that there's a big old black suited SpiderMan in the background. So that's cool too.
Really quickly, Jeff,
See.
Mayhew is digital artist or both.
Uh I would probably think he does both, but I think he does mostly digital. So,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, I'm sure most of them do both mediums,
Yeah, they have to now, but yeah,
right?
it seems like a lot of like Mike Mayhew stuff now. It seems to be more digital than anything else.
Right, but they also have like those pads where they draw into the digital as well. So I
Hmm.
mean, they are putting the same kind of artwork and strokes and it's translated digitally. So I
Hmm.
mean, I'm not knocking people who do digital. It looks different. There is a difference. There's
Uh-huh.
a finish over it that's totally different.
Right, right.
But yeah, I kind of dig it. Maybe the female character. I could have like maybe could have been in a different pose or drawn a little differently because I it's probably the only part I don't like about it. But everything else is great. I love that 2099, especially with the web cape,
Hmm.
like old school. That's cool. I like the lighting. I can tell where the lighting's coming from, and it's the exact same everywhere around. But that's probably one of the easier ways to do it on digital.
Uh-huh.
So I kind of dig it. Darn, for
No,
$40. Wait, what number is this? Spider-Man 2?
I ain't mad at you, Jeff. I ain't mad at you, man. I mean, you're right. It looks good. I get Alex Ross vibes from it.
Yes, Alex Ross vibes for sure, except Alex paints his.
Yeah.
And but you have a lot of my favorite characters on there, Spidey characters. That's why. So I'm a sucker for this.
And it looks like Miles is wearing a onesie, doesn't it?
Yes, but I'm pretty sure
It's a
that's
suit
his
though.
suit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I like it. I dig it.
And it looks like you're right about the Black Cat version of a spider character. And also to the dinosaur one. It seems like all the
Yeah.
characters are falling down, right?
Yeah, Black Noir. They look like they're probably falling down into like, Spider-Verse or
Right,
whatever.
right. but the female character doesn't look like she's falling down,
It looks weird. That's all.
right?
Just
It's
it
like
looks
I'm
out of
posing.
place. Yeah.
The same thing
Well,
with the
Miles
dinosaur.
is kind of doing the same thing in a sense. So
I don't know. I think the posing could be a little bit different. But other than that, I mean, I think it's a good cover.
yeah, no, it caught my eye right away. So
And I believe it's still available. So if you're on the fence,
yeah,
you should do it.
Aunt Laura, you keep making me spend money over there.
All right.
I swear to God, I just had 2 orders in like the last month.
Meh. All right. How about this one by Warren Lowe? Harley Quinn number 24. You can find it at Mutant Beaver, KRS, Eastside, Comic Mint. This is weird for DC books. So we're looking at 3,000 for the trade, 1,000 for the Virgin, and it's going to set you back $50. All right. Did you want me to go first, Jeff?
Yeah, it's Harley Quinn. You damn right I want you to go first.
Oh, you know what? I love this cover. I bought 2 sets. I think it's amazing.
This shit sold out so fast I didn't even find it. I went to all the damn websites too. I even went across the pond.
Oh, it's gorgeous. I think it's fantastic. I like how realistic Harley Quinn looks. And I know Warren does a lot of digital. I mean, it looks amazing.
This
and I
has
also
to be
like
from a photo. This
Excuse me?
has to be. He must have had some kind of photo as reference for this.
It's possible. It totally is possible. I mean, I know he's homaging the Scott Campbell.
The the JSC, yeah.
Yep. And I like how he has his own piece of art over there in the frame for Wonder Woman. So I like how he did that.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, I love the hyena that's right there at the foot of the couch or the sofa. I mean, this whole thing, I mean, I dig it. I love it so much. I mean, as soon as I saw it, I'm like, I'm going to be on there at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and I'm getting myself a copy because it's fantastic. I mean, even if you look even in the back, like in the window, not only do you see the bat symbol, but you see Batman there. And it's like Batman from the animated series. So we have the lightning coming down.
It's the Dark Knight Returns.
Yes. I mean, it's just so great. I mean, I love how he didn't waste any space at all in this cover. Everything looks proportioned correctly down to like, her feet, I guess. I mean, it's fantastic. I love it. I'm glad I got this cover. Yeah, and then Hyper said the same thing, right? It's like it's the come hither look. Yes. All right, and Ricardo, I'm glad you got a copy. Christina Applegate, yes.
Yeah, I could see it.
Yeah,
a younger Christina, yeah, sure.
The one thing I would, and it's just a little knock, is that right here, Harley Quinn looks sane. She looks like the girl,
a regular person who's just dressing up.
Yes. That's the only thing that I can say that is bad about this. But again, I picked this cover up. I bought the set. I love it. I mean, it's just like, oh, Warren, thank you for this.
Yeah, so I'm an idiot. I saw it. I wanted it. I looked at the time, and I mistook 2 p.m. as Pacific.
Oh.
So I checked it at 2. I was like, where the fuck is this book? How come I can't push the button? And I was like, where is it? I was like, but even the buttons disappeared for some of the sites. So like you couldn't even like see it on a website. It was just on their little ads. And I was just like, oh, so I'm mad at myself because this is like I missed out on a couple of his books before.
He's been on fire. Like, oof.
I mean, I do have that Wonder Woman, but I don't. I don't even think I have that Wonder Woman. Jeez.
Oh, dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, I think that's what I missed out on. But anyways, I love his artwork a lot of the time. I like how. So this is where digital art gets me really, where it looks realistic.
Oh yeah.
This literally looks like a freaking photo of a real person. So I mean, You're right. Everything, all the details are great. Everything from the iPhone to the little Batman plush that has a kiss lipstick mark on it. You've got the Joker have pins in him. You've got the hyena next to her. If you look closely, you can see her mallet in the background. I think it's on the ground right behind the hyena. You can see the bottom of the mallet.
Oh,
And I want to say that that's that pop gun that that weird gun that's on the table.
Did you see that from Katie?
Yeah.
I didn't even notice that. That's great.
It's freaking awesome. Yeah, I mean, obviously that's why he's got the kiss. I dig the whole background and the window. That is freaking awesome. I didn't notice that before. I didn't notice his drawing on the Wonder Woman in the frame. So that's awesome. This is really cool. I really, really wish I got one. In regards to your comment about her face and that she just looks like a regular person dressed up as Harley Quinn, I would say I wish maybe that he put more makeup on her in that craziness. That's all that he needed, because everything else like is perfect. So if you just give us a little bit of the crazy, but I get it. Maybe she's at home. Crazy's not home. Yeah. You know, it's out the door. This is her safe space. Yeah, I mean, but damn, honestly, I'm surprised they didn't charge $75 or $80.
I know, and it's $50 for a DC book for a set. I'm like, I thought that was a little bit much, but I'm like, I just couldn't. The cover was
I get it.
Irresistible.
I'm with you. I would have said the same thing, but just the cover alone is worth it for me. And I like both covers. I don't either one, with the trade dress, without it. Because the trade dress is very, in the sense, it's where I don't care.
Right. I would agree with that as well. All right. I believe that does it for our store exclusive. So we've wrapped up the show in record time. Look at that. But for you guys here and for us as well, make sure to check out CBSI. Hit up Coverfire, which will be available tomorrow, where Mike will talk about all of the covers that he loves that weren't incentives that we're releasing this Wednesday. And then also check out his cover tunes. They come out once a week. I think they come out on a Wednesday or a Thursday. He did one with Neil Adams. I think he did one with George Perez just recently. It's a great article. Definitely, you guys should check it out. And for us upcoming shows, Thursday, we have another Mondo Mail Call where you get to see the crew, Jeff, Steve, JR, Big Rob. And you know what? We had guests. We had Sam I Am on the show showing his wares. I mean, you never know who's going to show up. It's a great show where we get to talk about pulp culture items, TV shows that we just saw. I mean, it's a great kind of just hanging out, chilling with the herd. You guys should check it out. Again, it's Thursday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 10 p.m. Eastern. And then Jeff, come on.
Well, on Saturday, we have Saturday Morning Toy Box. And that's with West Coast Big Rob, Steve Hip Hops, and me, Comics and Collectibles, and myself. And this is where Big Rob lets us know about his nerdgasm over toys and lets us know how to spend all of that money that we don't have on toys that are just so expensive and so cool. But yeah, tune in usually at 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern time. And so, just tune in, check us out. If there's anything that we miss that you don't see that we talk about, let us know.
All right. And then also we have a couple announcements. Jeff.
Yeah, so if you guys have been hearing us talk about Bird City Comics and store exclusives, well, guess what? You can get 10% off at Bird City Comics using the code TNH10. So if you guys check out that SpiderMan #2, you've got a bunch of different like Nintendo homages. man, I've got a bunch of stuff coming my way. There was a
That's
Yoda.
right.
There's so much stuff.
Meh.
So use TNH 10 to get 10% off.
That's right. Save you guys some money. All right. And also, too, if you guys don't know, the beautiful, beautiful stacks that Jeff has in the back, you can actually pick those up from Display Geek. So head on over to displaygeek.com. You can save 10% using Team Nerd Herd as the discount code. Again,
On your
10%
first order.
on your first order. Thank you very much for that, Jeff. Save 10% on your first order using Team Nerd Herd as a discount code over at displaygeek.com. All right. So that, I believe, does it again for this record-breaking show. Oh, wait, Jeff, that's right. Near Mint Sundays.
I have a couple more announcements. Yes.
Oh.
So Near Mint Sundays on November 13th. That's a Sunday. If you're in the SoCal area, or if you can make it down to the SoCal area, it is a free comic book show. Myself, West Coast Big Rob, usually Azores Tiger is there, Coffee and a Comic, JD usually shows up. There's a Comics with Bonix. There's a bunch of people who are in the community that are usually there. And we'll be selling comic books. Find, dig. Hopefully you get something on the cheap. And also, I get to announce, if you're also in the SoCal area and you know about comics, tunes, and toys, you should probably make plans to try to drop by on Wednesday, November 2nd, because they're going to have a killer lineup of artists showing up to autograph books. And this is going to be for the release of Ninja Funk. And you're going to have David Mack, obviously, for Ninja Funk. You're going to have Kevin Eastman, and you're going to have Tyler Kirkham. So all three artists will be in the same spot, the same comic book shop on November 2nd for the release of Ninja Funk. And I think Whatnot would also be there. There'll be some representatives, Jack DeMeo. And so, yeah, maybe they'll give some giveaways, or they'll be doing their Whatnot on there. You'll get to see three great artists. I believe there'll be also other people. I believe there's going to be some writers, some creatives. So, yeah, drop by, check out Comics TNT on IG so you can get all the information. I'll probably post it soon enough, and maybe you guys can check it out there. If you have any questions, hit them up or hit me up.
Oh my God, that is awesome, Jeff. Oh my God, dude, that is a killer lineup. And it's going to be when in November?
November 2nd. It's a Wednesday, so it is a comic book day.
Oh, what time?
And it starts at 10, but the signings will be from 12 to 3, I believe. So I don't know. You know, some people might have to play hooky. Some people might have to call in sick. You know, some people might have to take a day off. But I mean, those three artists in one spot, and CGC will be available as well.
Oh my God, that is very killer. It's very killer.
I even heard there's like a prepayment for Kevin Eastman's, like $100 for 5 autographs.
Oh my God. And
so, yeah.
And Kevin Eastman always does remarks. I mean, my goodness.
Yeah, that'll be fun. And I can't wait because I'm going to sneak my butt down there. I'm only 5 minutes away.
Oh, nice. Jeff, you lucky bastard. Oh. All right, guys. Thank you for keeping up with us and keeping up with the show. We definitely appreciate you guys' involvement. And your comments. We totally love them. Jeff, thank you for coming. So I wouldn't be alone. I definitely appreciate it. Thanks for breaking the sound barrier just to get here, just beating that LA traffic.
Just in the nick of time.
Oh, of course. All right. So with all of that being said, Jeff, would you like to take us out?
Sure. Here, if you want to do it right, cover Horse for Life. Thank you.